Well, hello there everyone. Welcome back once again to another guitar tutorial. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to play Best of Me by Sum 41 on the acoustic guitar. And I think this is a very underrated classic song. You know, many of you may not know it, some of you may, but yeah, it's a great song, gives you the feels, and you should have fun learning it today. And yeah, let's just get to it. So first things first, as I always say, E standard tuning for this one. And it's going to be in the key of G major, just as the reference point, as I always say as well. Yeah, so no capo required. So let's just get straight into it. So Best of Me is going to start out kind of like this. I'll just play it real quick and then I'll go over it and teach you it. So you're going to go. So it's going to start out like that. That's kind of like how the intro is going to go. And then, of course, the verse will come in and you'll keep playing the same thing throughout the verses until we get to the chorus. But so yeah, so I'll break it down now. So it's going to start out on this G chord. But instead of playing like the regular G, you know, I'm going to actually be putting my ring finger on the B string of the 3rd fret. So I'm going to get this instead, because then I can go to the next chord I'm going to like transition to is a D major. You can play a D major if that's easier for you for familiarity reasons, but I'm actually going to be playing a D5 power chord. So again, it's just imagine a D major chord, but without your middle finger on the E string of the 2nd fret. So, you know, that's a D, take it off, then you've got D5 power chord type sound. So that's what I do in the intro anyway. Again, you can play the full chords if you want. You can play like the G, the full D. You can play like the actual full chords if that's just easier, because that's what you're used to playing most of the time when you play guitar. But I think I like to do that because it sounds more accurate to the intro at least. So yeah, after that anyways, you're gonna go from this like G with your ring finger on the B string of the 3rd fret. Then you're gonna go to D5 power chord, and then the next chord then is going to be an E minor. That's going to be all the strings played, just a regular E minor chord. Then back to the D5 power chord. Of course, use your thumb to wrap around the low E string, the 2nd fret, and the A string as well. Mute those notes, but you will actually be using it later on to play the low E string on the 2nd fret, which will be an F sharp, but we'll get to that. So then you've got, and then after that, after the 2nd time, going back to the D5 chord, then go to a C major. Regular C major chord. Use your thumb to mute the low E string. And then back to D5 power chord one more time, and then back to the G. And the good thing about having your ring finger on the B string of the 3rd fret is that, again, it makes the transition from G to D5 a lot easier, or vice versa, from D5 to G. It's just a lot easier. You don't have to move like that. That finger can just stay on that string the entire time for both chords, so it doesn't have to move, so it makes it a lot easier. So that is definitely a good trick to do if you're ever playing songs and the next chord happens to be, you know, if you're going from like G to D, it can make sense to play G this way, so then you can just go like that, just because it makes it easier to transition and it's quicker. But it's up to you though. But anyway, moving on. So after that, it'll basically do the same thing. So now you've got that down. I'll go over it one more time now. I've told you all the chords. So once again, we'll slow it down. You've got, so yeah, as you probably already noticed, the strumming pattern is just down strumming, just downstrokes. You can do the occasional upstroke here and there if you want, just to, you know, like fill in the sound and the space, but it's going to be downstrokes for the most part, and throughout most of the song it is going to be down strumming for the majority of it. So yeah, so basically when I said you're going to use your thumb to play the low E string on the 2nd fret, which will become an F sharp, you'll do that on like the last time. So when you play D5 the last time in this sequence, then you'll play instead of muting the strings, you'll use your thumb to play low E string on the 2nd fret, and then you get this, because you kind of hear that note being enunciated just as it comes into the verse. So again, you've got the chorus. Now, just before we get to that, so yeah, just to summarize on that real quick. So again, it's just down strumming for that entire sequence for the intro and for the verse chords. It stays the same during the verses too. You'll just be singing, but playing the exact same thing. And then whenever you play the D5 the last time before going back to the G, just make sure you play the wrap your thumb around the low E string on the 2nd fret to get this. And you'll do that. You do that on the intro anyway. Then after that, during the verses, it's up to you. You don't hear it as much, but you can still do it. It's whatever's easier for you. You can mute it. Just play the D, or the D5 rather, like that, or go. It really is up to you, but you'll do, before the verse comes in, definitely play it then, because you do hear it a lot more then. It's more noticeable, so yeah, but you don't have to, overthink it. It's up to you, whatever you think sounds better. But going into the chorus now, so it goes into the first chorus, and you hear the acoustic guitar actually playing then, and that's going to play like this. You actually hear the pattern it's playing, and it's alternate strumming. It's going to do, alternative strumming. So that's the first time you'll, be strumming up and down instead of just, continuing the down strumming. So you get to the chorus. Sorry. And then what I'm going to do is, from the chorus, I'm going to play a regular G. Instead of playing this G that I said before, with the ring finger on the B string, the 3rd fret, I'm going to play the regular G, because I feel like it's more bright and it like fits the chorus better. So you've got, and the strumming pattern's going to be like this. So you've got, the strumming pattern's going to be like that for the entire chorus, throughout the chords. So again, you've got, so yeah, so you've got G, then to E minor, then to C major, D major, and I'm playing, this time as you can see, I'm playing the full regular chords. I'm not playing like power chords or taking off a finger. I'm playing the actual full chords, the regular chords. So you've got D. So that I can say it's so much, and I feel so that I could start again. Throw it all away. And then it stops, and then you hear like the instruments start to come in, and then you're gonna go back to the down strumming again. But again, so the chorus chords are again, just to clarify. So you've got G major, E minor, C major, D major, back to G major. So yeah, the chorus chords are a lot more simple. There's less chords. It's just really like the intro chords that you need to work on, because the transitions are going to be a bit faster and you're going to a few more chords. So definitely prioritize doing that first, because then the chorus will feel a lot easier. So yeah, so after that, then it'll go in, and you'll like stop. And then the drums are going da 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 da, and it'll come back in again, and you'll just continue with the down strumming as you were doing with the intro and verses. that'll just continue. So you've got that down now. Do the same thing again. So again, you've got G, D5, E minor, D5, C, D5 power chord, back to G. So yeah, that's again just to tell you again, that's the chords for the intro, pre-chorus bits, and the verses essentially. The only bit that's different is literally the chorus. That's the only time like the ordering changes up for the chords. Everything else is more or less the same. So the next bit now is going to be, it'll do the same thing again, and then you'll get to the second chorus. Now when it comes in the second time, that's when you hear the electric guitar, like the overdrive, come in, and that's when it'll be like playing power chords for the chorus. You could do that if you wanted to. If you're playing on electric, you could then be going like, you can do that if you're playing on the electric guitar. Maybe you could do that if you have an overdrive sound, but if you're playing on the acoustic, as I assume most of you are, because this is on the acoustic guitar, this tutorial, then just, do what you did before, just stick to the regular chords. You don't hear the acoustic being played because the overdrive is kind of like the main sound, and that's overpowering everything in that main chorus. It really feels a lot more full, a lot more sound and a lot more resonation there. So it's just going to be the same thing, but I think downstrumming, we're going to go off what the electric guitar does, and that's basically doing downstrumming. So in the first time we were doing that pattern, but the second time we're basically going to be doing this. That's when then the solo comes in, and then you'll basically hear like the solo being played, and then it'll change up then, and basically the chords for the solo are going to be it will switch up, obviously different to the chords ordering. So for the solo, you're just going to go this from G. So you're going to go E minor, downstrumming, just downstrumming, remember, G major, D major, E minor, C major, now G major, D major, E minor, C major, D major, sorry. And that's when the piano comes in for the first time, and I think that's a lovely touch in the song, like for the piano to come in there. It really just makes it like such a complete song. You hear like everything, so love that bit. But yeah, just to go over that again, because there was a few like different changes there, and you transition faster the second time from the G to the D. So I'll go over that again. So again, the chorus, so solo's going to be E minor, C major, G major, playing the full chords, D major, E minor, C major, now you got G major, then to D, E major. Now when you play this D major, this time, that use your thumb to wrap over the low E string on the second fret, because you hear the F sharp being enunciated again, like you did in the intro of the song. You hear the F sharp there being enunciated on the electric, and it just sounds way better to do that. So you've got, and then to the E minor after that, and then to C major, that just continuing your downstrumming, D major. This time use your thumb to mute the low E string and A string on the second fret. So you just got the D string down, and then you've got sorry. So yeah, basically now before we get to that bit, yeah, so one more time. E minor, C major, major. second time, just remember that when you go to the G, you go from the G, you transition from the G to the F sharp over a D major quicker than the first time. Like, you'll notice it in the song, it'll like come to you naturally, but you do transition faster the second time, and then into the E minor, and then everything else is the same pattern at the same speed. You transition at the same rate, but it's just that one time when you go from the that bit there, the second time is transitions a bit faster, and then you go. So now, basically, when the piano comes in, you can, if you want, you can just go continuing the downstrumming, or you can go whatever's easier. But what I do is I play the first G, so the G with my ring finger on the B string, so that G, and I just play along with the piano. Actually, I go sorry. So the piano's like this. So that I can say E minor. C major to D major, back to G major, I threw it all away. E minor, shadows of destiny. So that's basically what the piano's going to do, and it'll do that once, and then the guitar will come in. So just when you're playing along with the piano for like one sequence, you're gonna go play along with the piano like that. It's just gonna go like that, like that. That's how the piano will sound. E minor, C major, D5, and then the second time, then you actually hear the acoustic guitar come in, and then we can play along with that. But for the first time, I just go along the piano. And yeah, it's the same ordering, it's the same, chords as the chorus, the same ordering, it's exactly the same. So in the second time, then you hear the guitar in it, and it's going to come in like this. So let's start again. It's going to go. And that's how that will go. So again, you just do it one time. You'll play with the piano, blow on the piano for one sequence, and then the guitar for one sequence, and then you'll end on the G on the G major. So yeah, so finally you've got, again, the strumming pattern is just. That's how the last bit will go for the guitar. That's how the last sequence will go when you hear the guitar coming in playing. So basically on this G, you'll do alternate strumming twice. You'll go. And then from the E minor onwards, you'll only do it once, and that's just before you transition. So you'll just be doing that in down strumming. So you'll go. Now do it. Now do it just before you come to the C major. And same again before you transition to the D major, and then final time, and then you'll finish on that. So I don't know why it does that, but yeah, you do on the G chord, you hear alternate strumming being played twice, and then it's just down strumming, and you hear the alternate strumming being played once just before the transition to the next chord, and then that's how that goes. So it's just on the G, you do it twice, so just keep that in mind. But you should hear it in the song as well if you're playing along with it. So yeah, and that's basically going to do it though anyway. So that's Best of Me by Sum 41. So yeah, it's that's how it's going to finish basically. And as I say, if you would prefer just to play the regular Gs because it's just what you're used to playing, and using your ring finger to play the B string on the third fret is a bit more difficult because you're not used to like doing that transition, that's fine. You can play the regular chords, that will still be fine. But I do think it is a bit more fitting to what you hear in the song if you do what I've showed you today, because I think it's pretty accurate for an acoustic rendition. Even though the acoustic is played throughout the song, it's mainly it's the electric guitar comes in with like the overdrive, so it's kind of a mix of everything, but I think this is a good way to play it on the acoustic, in my opinion. So yeah, hopefully you'll enjoy learning today. Feel free to pause, rewind, go over the video, as I always say. You know, there's no rush. You can pause the video, take your time, learn this at your own pace to where it fits your heart's content and to where you're comfortable, because I never want to rush or anything, but I don't want to like take too long showing you either. But yeah, we'll wrap it up now. So yeah, if any requests for any songs, and if it's within my wheelhouse, I will do my best and I will learn it. If there are any requests that any of you would like me to learn and show you, remember, keep in mind I am chord based, so just like mainly acoustic songs. I could do some tutorials on the electric, I wouldn't object to that, but for now I'm just doing the acoustic and it's just mainly chord based stuff. That's where I excel and where I thrive on. So yeah, if not though, then I will see you on my next guitar tutorial. I hope you enjoyed learning today, and I will see you in my next guitar tutorial.